And welcome to the Howard Eskin Show. It is just me and you tonight. Me and you, because a lot of people have requested they want to be a part of the show. They want to call it calls. You click in on the stream. It's out there for you to click in and be a part of the show. Tonight, the NFL schedule comes out, and it's craziness when the schedule comes out and people throw, they're going to be 12-5, they're going to be 10-7, they're going to be that, they're going to be that, they're going to be 16-1, whatever it is. We'll discuss that tonight. And I just wanted to also tell you that the Howard Eskin Show is presented. It's presented by Stillwell Financial Advisors. Very important that you understand that, because Jeff Stillwell can help you with any of your wealth, because he knows his you know what. He's terrific at what he does. He can help you with your wealth and investments. Great guy, regular guy. He's a genius. So you can get to know him and be impressed. Here's his number: 732-343-0813. That's 732-343-0812. All right. So he presents this show for everybody. But what we're going to do tonight, it's really going to be about the schedule. And one thing that I'm going to tell you, because hockey fans in this town, the Philadelphia Flyers fans, feel slighted. Well, the Flyers have named officially a new head coach, and we'll touch on that. And if you want to comment on it, I've seen comments both ways on social media when I posted it. And you want to comment on that, you can too. But it's really going to be about the schedule, and there's some things that I've got to deal with at the end. The whimpering, whining, pathetic 76ers fans. I am going to talk about them. And you can be pissed off at me, say what you want, call in if you want to challenge it. But a lot of you people are flat out pathetic, pathetic. But I will get to that. All right. So here, when we deal with the schedule, and we're going to deal a lot of things with the schedule, but there's going to be a lot of things we're going to talk about tonight. Sixers, Flyers, the Pete Rose situation, Bill Belichick. I saw something that just nauseated me, but we'll get to that. But it's a schedule. What is it about the schedule? Now, let me tell you the games that have already been leaked, released. The NFL is really cute. They say the schedule release is 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday night, tonight, May 14th. However, they leak things, they release things. The Eagles already have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, or 7 games that we already know about. We know they open Thursday night. The Super Bowl champion always opens on the first Thursday night. The Eagles play on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The NFL has games every day of the week this season except Tuesday, but they'll get Tuesdays in too at some point. All right. So the Eagles, week 1, play the Dallas Cowboys. And wouldn't it be great? And I'm sure those whining cockroach Cowboy fans will be annoyed about that when they have to watch the Eagles drop the Super Bowl championship banner when they're there and just shove it up their rear end. Here it is, boys. By the way, the guys on that team don't even know what that looks like, because most of them hadn't been born the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. The second week, they play at Kansas City. That's going to be a tough game, and we'll talk about it. That's a tough game. That is a tough game for the Eagles the second week. Week 6, they play Thursday night again. They play 2 Thursday night games in the first 6 weeks, unless they have a bye week in week 5. In the first 6 weeks, they play 2 Thursday night games. They play the Giants at the Link. Week 10, they play at Green Bay. That's a Monday night football game. Week 13, the Chicago Bears on Black Friday play in Philadelphia at the Link. That's not bad. I think it's a 3:00 game. That's actually not bad. A lot of people have that day off to shop, and I guess a lot of people go to a football game. Week 16, they play Washington at Washington on a Saturday. The tough part about the schedule, I already see they play Washington twice within 3 weeks. Not easy to win both those games. Week 17, we don't know. Week 18, the Washington Commanders, or whatever you want to call them, play here in Philadelphia. So at 8 o'clock, all of them will come out. So here's my question. The NFL schedule has a lot of record projections, and I'm urging you to be a part of the show. We'll talk about your projections, the two Thursday night games, the Black Friday game. Uh, it's all part of the whole mix. First of all, before I get into you on the show, and again, you go to the social media platforms, and the link is there for you to connect to talk to me if you so choose about that, or Flyers fans who feel slighted, you can talk about your new head coach. But first of all, I'd like to thank and welcome our sponsors, other sponsors, and that would be Cut the Cord with Jason, Piazza Property Pros, and Audi Westchester, where they got a special. All these people are really good, but they got a special. All right, let me first tell you, it's the season because you want to set yourself up with a pool. You want to do the landscaping, make your property look nice. The best people to do it, Piazza Property Pros. Uh, they'll take care of an in-ground pool if you want that, pool renovation if you want that, 25 years of experience. That's really important. They don't subcontract, it's all their people. So the work is done by skilled professionals, landscaping, excavation, fencing, maintenance, whatever it is. Trust Piazza Property Pros to deliver the exceptional results on time and within your budget. Here's the number 610 566 2608. That's 610 566 2608. Or check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. Also, you want a new car, and here's what's good going on at Audi Westchester. Not only can you experience a luxury at Audi Westchester, the all new facility is beautiful. You'll have fun. The people there are all fun, very nice, cordial. You'll enjoy the experience of buying or leasing a new Audi. No pressure, no pressure. You just enjoy it. And because Audi Westchester is part of the Mainline Automotive Group, you'll have access to the largest selection of new and pre-owned Audi vehicles in the tri-state area. Also, right now, there's still no tariffs. $7,000 off any in stock Q8. $7,000 off any in stock Q8. That's going on right now at Audi Westchester. And for people that are listening outside of the area, and people may have homes in Florida, they will ship your vehicle anywhere in the United States. That's Audi Westchester, located at 1421 Wilmington Pike, or check them out, AudiWestchester.com. That's AudiWestchester.com. And you want to save money with your cable? Who doesn't, right? Well, cut the cord with Jason. He'll take care of it. Incredible service that will save you money. He'll come out to your house, cut your cable off, set you up with less expensive internet service, streaming services, which include local and national channels. You'll get to see all of the Philly Pro games. And let's just say you have a second home down the shore or a home anywhere. Two homes on the same bill, no extra. And Jason can do that with Cut the Cord. And you'll save lots of money. Call Jason, 215 801 5858. 215 801 5858. I also want to tell you that we have something else to give away on the Howard Eskin Show today, and that would be a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. Now, what we normally do, and we've given away Oakley sunglasses, and we have a winner from Saturday, and I'll announce who that winner is. You got to listen carefully, listen to the show, uh, whether it's on YouTube, uh, wherever it is. And if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll always be notified when the show comes on. So I recommend and suggest you subscribe on YouTube, the Howard Eskin Show, whenever you get your podcast. At the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, not quite at the end, I'll ask a question, and you email your answer through the contact page at howardeskin.com by midnight on Friday, the 16th, the midnight on Friday. And you can watch the Howard Eskin Show on Saturday, this Saturday, 8 a.m. And we'll announce the winner on Saturday of the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. And by the way, if you're outside the area, Chickies and Pete's is in a lot of areas. Obviously, he's got I think 80 or 90 locations all over. So that's what we're going to give away this week. And you got to listen, and then you got to submit, and we'll take out of the correct answers. In this case, it's going to be a little different, and we'll take somebody at random. All right. So your thoughts so far on the schedule, on the games that have already come out. Your thoughts on the schedule. Uh, it's just it's important to what I want to see is who they play in what weeks. The fact that they play on all these different days kind of really changed the dynamics of the schedule. But there's other teams that are playing out of the country. I think it's uh, I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke that all these games are out of the country. But whatever the case may be, uh, it's just it's well, it's not fair, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about fair anymore. Nobody cares about fair. That it's all about television money, and that's what it's all about, the television money. So, hey, listen, what can I tell you? Um, and that's the way the NFL wants it, and that's the way they're going to get it. And it's just it's really kind of a joke. By the way, the link for the show to join the show is on your social media platforms, and you can get it there, and you'll be able to join the show. Uh, the other thing, like I mentioned earlier, um, the thing that I think is going to be well, they're not going to win both games. The last two out of the last three games, two out of the last three games are against Washington. And the NFL is cute the way they do this. The reason they do that, the reason they have your division teams, because you play them twice, they schedule the games close together because they they absolutely know that you will normally not win both games. Really tough to beat the same team twice in 3 weeks. So, yeah, do I really have to deal with this moron? Yeah, I guess I do. All right. The Cowboy Jim is already a loser because we know the Cowboys are going to lose the first game of the season. Hey, why don't you get a haircut? Why don't you get a haircut? If you're going to
Oh well,
come on with
look,
this, get it.
I'm
You're
I've
what?
been busy. Okay, you're going in and out too. I can't hear you very well, so you need to work
Well,
on something
I
there.
can see
But
that.
anyway, look,
That's your connection. That's your connection. I can tell that's your connection. All
well,
right.
all right. Listen.
I'm
We
listening.
realize now that the Dallas Cowboys are still and always will be the America's team.
Why
Christmas,
is that?
Thanksgiving,
Tell me why that
starting
is.
off.
Why is
Well,
that?
it's
Why
always
is that?
Thanksgiving. It's always Thanksgiving. Now it's going to be Christmas.
That's
It's
because Jerry
starting off the
Jones has too
season with
much
the
power.
fraud.
Yeah,
And
but
what makes
hold on.
you
Let's
think
stop.
that
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Christmas is a disadvantage. That's the Christmas this year, I believe, is on Wednesday. So that's a disadvantage to play on that
so?
day. So who cares whether they're on Christmas?
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Okay.
Everybody wants to see the Cowboys, no matter what, good or bad, playing good, playing bad, it doesn't matter. They're
Oh
on
boy.
ESPN, every news station, every sports station. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They
You think
are
so?
loved. You may hate them or whatever, but the NFL needs for money. They need them for money. Okay,
Well,
they
hold it.
bring in so much
Everybody.
money, win or lose.
I hate to break the news to
Everybody
you.
what?
I hate to break the news to you. But the NFL makes money on everybody. It's not the Dallas Cowboys. I obviously the matchup because of all
The
the hype. The
Jacksonville
first game,
Jaguars.
yeah, but they don't play the Jaguars this year. I mean, it doesn't matter.
No,
Trust me, it
it doesn't
doesn't matter.
matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
You
I'm
know,
telling
you
you right
know that
now.
they would rather have had the Dallas Cowboys in Brazil last year than the Eagles or the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves them. No, all right, love them or hate them, it doesn't matter. but anyway, they are still America's team. They want everybody wants them on every night. They want the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to. They had a better draft. They're doing so much better with Pickens and Lamb. And you're telling me they're going to better defense. So don't sit there and
By the
tell
way,
me this is a terrible way
let
to
me
start off the
interrupt you for a
season.
second. Let me interrupt you for a second because people care about the Bills game too, and I'm surprised. The last three games of the Eagles are tough. They play Washington in Washington on a Saturday. They play the Bills the next week in Buffalo, and then they come back home to play Washington. It's tough playing the same team twice in 3 weeks, and then the Bills right in between that. That is difficult. That's tough for the Eagles. That is
All
really
right,
tough.
let me just say this. I'm saying that the Eagles and the Cowboys are playing first because what's happening now is that if you wait 12 weeks, 13 weeks, someone's going to be hurt. Jalen and Dak they rarely played against each other because someone's always hurt. I think what they're now is saying,
It's
let's
usually
put two
Dak.
teams on.
It's usually Dak.
Well, whatever. But I'm saying by the time we wait till November or December for them to finally play, you can now, it's like they're all going to be fresh. They're all going to be healthy. And this time the Cowboys will all be ready to go. And hopefully the Lions will be healthy all year long. Because if they were healthy all year long, they would have beaten the Eagles. Okay, so that's why the Eagles are frauds. Everybody else was hurt last year.
Well, I don't care, but that's part of the game. I don't want to hear any excuse. Let's break this down to its simplest form, genius. The simplest form is Dak Prescott is not good enough, and you
Yes,
know
he
it.
is.
You don't want to admit it. No, you don't. You don't want to
You
admit
don't
it,
think
and you know it.
you don't
No,
think adding Pickens, you don't think adding Pickens to the team is going to make the Cowboys so much better.
Dak Prescott doesn't know what he's looking at half the time.
Oh, stop. Stop. Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are so much better than Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. That's such a better matchup having
You are
them on
so
there rather than the
you are
Eagles.
so clueless. You are so clueless.
I
I
can't
mean,
wait. You think Jerry Jones cares about the flag going up in Philadelphia, about the Super Bowl flag, the multi-billionaire? You think he cares? He's got his rings. He did a great job this season. You have to admit that.
just who did he a great job? All right. You know what?
He had a great off season.
I'm gonna run down the whole schedule. All right. The schedule is out for the Eagles and it's out for everybody else. I'm gonna run down the whole schedule and I'm gonna tell you, and your Cowboys schedule, I might look at that so I can rip your
I
ass.
did look at it. I looked at it, and they're going to go 12-5.
Wait a minute, where did you see it?
I saw it on Twitter.
No,
I saw the
they just came out. You know who
I saw it on Twitter.
just now?
Yeah, I saw it. They're going to be 12-5. I can tell.
You didn't see it on Twitter. All right, get out of here.
Well,
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, so
no.
get out of here. All right, here's the Eagles schedule. All right, so week one they play Dallas Thursday night at the Link. Week two, this is a tough game. This is a tough game. It's a rematch. It's the second week after the banner drop. All those things that figures into it. It's not easy for a Super Bowl winner the second week of the season. They play at Kansas City, so that's a revenge game. Then they play the Rams here in Philadelphia early in the season, week three. Then they play Tampa away. That's not an easy game either. Tampa week four. The Denver Broncos are here in Philadelphia week five. The New York Giants are uh, away week six. Then the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota has a brutal schedule. They play twice overseas, 2 weeks in a row, and then they have a brutal schedule. Minnesota away on week seven. The Giants here week eight. So they play. Here's another thing the NFL did, and this is not good for the Eagles. Even though the Giants suck, they play the Giants twice in a 3 week period. As I said, it's hard to win twice in a 3 week period against the same team. It's really hard to win. All right. So here's the schedule as you see it. Right, it really is hard to win. The Giants, as I said, That's week 6. Week 6, it's on your screen here. Week 6, they play the Giants away. Week 7, they play the Vikings away. So that's 2 road games in a row. Week 8, they play the Giants at home, and then week 9 is the bye week. Week 10, they play at Green Bay on a Monday night. Week 11, they play the Detroit Lions, and that Lions game is here in Philadelphia. Week 12 is in Dallas. That's in Dallas. And then they play Black Friday, week 13, here at the Link in Philadelphia. They play Black Friday. Week 14, they play the Chargers away. That's not an easy game either because the Chargers, obviously, a good team. So the Chargers away week 14. Week 15, they play the Raiders. That should be a win. They play the Raiders here at the Link. Week 16, and this is where it's tough. These last 3 weeks are tough. Tough because they could lose 2 out of 3 the last 3 weeks. They play Washington in Washington on a Saturday. They play the Bills at Buffalo, on week 17, and then they play the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, week 18 here in Philadelphia. So when you look at it, you know, if the Eagles lose 5 games, I wouldn't be surprised because there's some tough games that are back to backers. Again, you have some comments on the schedule. What you think? What do you think the record's going to be? How well do you think they're going to play? It is. See, that's the other thing. The Eagles are a very, very good football team. Very good football team. However, it is tough. A lot of these guys haven't experienced this before, and you get caught up. And I know they're going to come out and they're going to work hard and they're going to play hard, and I get all those things. But it's tough. You had so much attention to yourself, and you became instant celebrities. Think about the young guys who became instant celebrities. I think Cooper DeJean is terrific as a player. Quinyon Mitchell, terrific as a player. But 2 rookies who won a Super Bowl in their rookie year, and they got all this attention the second year. That is really, really tough for those guys to come out and do that. It's really tough the second year for those guys to come out and do that. Really, really tough. Again, you can join the show. The link is on the stream. What do you think? I mean, there's going to be people out there, and of course, we already had a Cowboy loser that think the Eagles might only win 10 games. They're going to win more than 10 games. I think 12, 11 or 12 is a really good number. 11 or 12 is going to win the division, but you got to have the home games, and that's really important. So you've got the schedule. You see it on the screen there. That's your schedule for the Eagles this year. And the time for the last game will be announced. If that game means the division, it's better that they have it at home. If it means a division, and if it means a division, it's probably going to be a night game. But we don't know. 9 for the bye week is probably not bad. It's kind of in the middle of the season. Last year, it was probably a little too early, but you just got to get through healthy. It's all about health. All right, some spots on the schedule, which I don't think are favorable to the Eagles. Playing Kansas City the second week. You're playing the team you just beat in the Super Bowl. It's a revenge game, and you can say what you want about revenge games, but there's a statistic. It's been that way for years. The Super Bowl winner almost never loses the opening game because they're playing at home. The second through the 4th or 5th week, they're not just because all that emotion drains out of you. I think that second game at Kansas City, I think that could be a loss because it's a revenge game. The other spots in the schedule that I think are tough now that I see the Giants, and the NFL did this on purpose. There's no reason they have to do this. They're playing the Giants twice in a 3-week period, week 6 and week 8. It's tough to beat the same team, and the Giants suck, so they should. But that could be a tough. And you have Minnesota in between, which could be a difficult game. And the Minnesota game is on the road, so that's a tough game too. Then the other tough part of the schedule, when I'm looking at it, I don't know that they'll beat Dallas twice, and they play Dallas on November 23rd. I don't know that they'll beat them twice. But the other parts of the schedule, I'm seeing the only other part that I see, other than teams that could be tougher, playing. Let me see. They play 3 out of 4 weeks. They play on the road. Week 14, they play the Chargers on the road. They come home against the Raiders. That's a win. Then they go on the road for Washington, and then they go on the road to Buffalo. And that's going to be a big game for Buffalo. Big in a lot of ways because they're going to need to win the game. Tough game, really, really difficult game. All right. So if you have things you want to talk about on this fine program and the schedule, please do it. All right, we have a caller on the line. And we have plenty of lines if you want to. The link is on the media on the social media sites, and you can link in. All right, let's go to our next caller. Is he there? And that is Chris. Chris, you're on, brother. What's happening? This is not that difficult. Chris, does he have his audio on, Joe?
Oh,
Oh,
can
there
you
you
hear me
go.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. Hey,
Good,
Howard, how are you,
good.
man? Love the show. Yeah, no, appreciate you doing this.
Thanks.
So, no, just about the Eagles. I mean, I think they'll be fine next year. I mean, especially with Campbell coming on the defense, and I hear you about the young
Who's
guys
coming
too. I
on the
mean, I thought
you're
about
talking about
that.
the
Yeah,
first
first.
round draft pick? We don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah,
Hold it. We
yeah.
don't know when he's going to be healthy enough to play. That's the other thing. So,
Yeah,
hey, listen, everybody says he's an extremely talented player. And if he doesn't play this year, the Eagles would love him to play. But if he doesn't play this year, the Eagles aren't concerned because they know they got him for a lot of years and he's a really good player. So
yeah,
don't count on him yet. All right.
yeah. I mean, I didn't realize there is a chance he may not
Yeah,
play at
there's a
all. I mean, it's
chance, and
that
we don't
bad.
know the medical condition
Okay.
yet, but there is a chance. Yes.
Yeah. Yep, yep. And just to shift
Sure.
gears real quick, like, what do you think the Phillies are going to do with Schwarber? Like, I mean, they have to re-sign him. Like, what type of contract do you think he'll really get?
Well, they'll probably give him 4 years, at least 4 years. Probably give him at least
Uh huh.
25 million a year. Remember, he's a DH for the most part, but they'll give him at least 25
Yeah,
million a year. But I don't know that I'm not sure if Castellanos' contract is up this year. I don't think if they have a chance, if both of them are up this year, I don't think they'll keep both, but I think they'll keep Schwarber because and he's not hitting leadoff, which I've said for 2 years he shouldn't hit leadoff. It should have been Stott, but
oh, totally.
but
Yeah,
but
you're
he's a
totally right
great
about that.
guy, and he's really important to the lineup. There's no question that he will be here, and they will sign him. So I don't have any question. I
Yep.
think the thing you got to worry about, and I'm going to talk about it later. I got to worry about Bryce Harper. I mean, remember he's over 30 years old,
Yeah.
and I know he's a terrific player, but sometimes you can't play at that level forever. So I worry about him. But to answer your question, I think Schwarber will be back. Are there any?
That's what I was thinking. 4 years, and I didn't realize Castellanos might be up
He
too.
might
But
be up. It's either this
yeah,
year or next year. All right. Let me ask you a question about the Eagles. When you
yeah.
you looked at the schedule, what do you think the record's going to
Uh huh.
be?
I would say, I think I think 4 to 5 losses is probably
I'm
about
telling you,
right. I mean, you said
it's tough.
five, so
People think, okay, well, they're only going to lose 4 games. If they
yeah,
only
but
lose 4 games, they're winning the division and they'll have the home field at the end of the year. I don't think they'll
yeah.
win
I
the
mean,
division. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I don't think I'm not locked in. I think they'll win the division, but I'm not locked in on the best record in the conference yet. So we'll see. But I think 5 losses is really kind of where it's not easy. It's not easy. But anything else,
no,
Chris?
not at all. No, man.
Okay.
Thanks a
Hey,
lot, dude. I appreciate the
thanks
show
for
and have a
joining
great
the
night.
Howard Eskin Show. Thank you very much.
All
All
right,
right.
you too.
I
Take it
think we
easy.
have another caller. Let's go to our next caller, linker, or podcaster, or whatever it is. And that's Colonel. Colonel, what's happening, brother?
Hey, Colonel, gritty. Hey, Howard. This is the Colonel from New England. Just got the
From New
schedule
England.
released.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Are
yeah.
you
I'm
an
a
Eagles
transplant.
fan? Are you an Eagles fan or
Yeah.
a Patriots fan?
No. Eagles, Philly fan all the way. Up here for college and got stuck up here when I met my wife. So
Oh, okay. So you
yeah,
moved
yeah,
up there.
yeah. But I'm bringing all the Eagle energy. I think 11 plus
You're
is gonna be
breaking up a little
what we
bit, so I'm going to try to hear
schedule.
your question.
Either,
What's your question?
a big question is going to be that Kansas City game, right? You think what we have now is going to be able to attack Mahomes, the same way we did in the Super Bowl?
Uh, me, you don't think Kansas City's going back to the Super Bowl, do you?
No. I mean, in week 2, are we going to be able to get to Mahomes like we did in the Super Bowl?
Okay, now I hear. In week 2, are they going to get there? I think that's a tough game for the Eagles because it's a revenge game from the Super Bowl, and that's really, really, really difficult. The second week of the season after you've won a Super Bowl, not easy for teams because all the emotion goes into the first game. And I know that the Eagles work hard, and I get all that, but it's a real difficult situation. It's really difficult. Uh, Kansas City will improve their offensive line. That's where the Eagles destroyed them. They destroyed them on the offensive line. So that's a tough game for the Eagles. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles are 1-1 after the first 2 weeks because they're going to win the first game because the Cowboys, the Cowboys are going to stuck and the Eagles will not lose that first game to the Cowboys. So, hey, Colonel, I appreciate you jumping in. A little problem sometimes with your connection, but I wanted to make sure I got you on because you made the effort to get on the program. Thank you.
I appreciate it, King. Have a good night.
Okay, have a great one. Have a great one. I think did we have another caller? I think we had another one. Yeah. Okay, let's go to George.
Hey, King.
George, hey,
How
what's
are you, buddy?
happening? Good. How are you? Good. How
Hey,
are you
man.
doing?
I tried to go through the schedule, like I know when you're on the radio, I said, "Oh, we're going through the schedule." That all us geeks are going to say how many wins they're going to have, and we're doing
Right.
that here. Hey, so I'm going to be part of that geek squad. I got them like at 11-6. This schedule is brutal. I agree with you. The last
Okay.
3 games are killer.
The last 3 games are really tough, and they have a stretch there. You got to remember they have a stretch there where they have 3 out of 4 games on the road. Starting in week 14, the Chargers is a tough game. Then you got a
Correct.
little pity pat with the Raiders, but then Washington on the road is a tough game, and then you play Buffalo on the road is a tough game. That's a really tough stretch. Uh, I think if they have to win the Washington game at home, the last game of the season, I would think they will. But it's not out of line. I don't think it's out of line for you to say 11-6. I don't think it's out of line.
I have them at 2-2. You might think I'm crazier. I think Tampa at the Bucks not an easy game. They seem to
You
have
know
the
what?
number.
When I look at that, and that's what they were last year too. That would not be out of line to think that they're 2-2 there. That would not
This
be out of
schedule is
line.
brutal, man. This is brutal. It's a brutal schedule for a Super Bowl champion.
That is correct.
I'm like, wow, there is really, besides the NFC East, I mean, the Giants have a rookie quarterback. Those 2 games are early on. They should be W's. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The only tough game is the 2 Washington games at the end. Man, that's just wow.
Well, whenever you play a team, I say this every year, whenever you play a team twice within a 3-week period, the NFL does that on purpose because they want to keep teams together. It's hard to beat the same team twice in 3 weeks. Even if it's a bad team, one of the games is going to be a struggle. Now, the Giants suck, but who knows if the Giants might be a little bit better, but they play them twice in a 3-week period. That's not an easy stretch either. And
I'm in Giant territory, Howard. It's tough living in this part of. I mean, I support Philly all day long.
Are you in North Jersey?
I am in what they call. You'll laugh at this. I call it Central Jersey. I'm near Asbury Park. You know, I call that.
Okay.
Right above Tom's
yeah,
River,
there's a lot of Giants, a lot of losers there. Yeah, a lot of losers.
One more question for you. I think it's a good show. I know you hear about the Flyers, and they go with the old guys from the old Stanley Cup days and guys from the prior teams. I truthfully think Rick Tocchet's a good choice.
Yeah, I do too. The Flyers have their news conference on Friday. I'm going to talk to Tocchet. I'll get him on the show sometime in the next week or so. But I think it's a good choice. Some people don't. I see on social media some of the comments. I think he's a good coach. I think he can relate to players. Remember, they're young players. And when you have an older coach, sometimes players don't relate, but I think he can relate to the players. I really
Because he
do.
played the game. I mean, he's been on winning teams.
Well, yeah,
so I agree with you.
yeah, but
I agree.
I think he'll be good. But I'm giving you. See, you got a Flyers question in. Flyers fans think they're slighted, so I'm giving Flyers fans a chance to comment on.
Yo,
Hey,
my over under this week for the F-bomb was 1.
well, I didn't say it yet. I had a hall pass last week.
That was great job with that was a great show, man. This is your stick, man.
Hey, all these shows are great. Come on,
They
now.
are. I agree with you. I
know.
agree with you. You're doing
Hey,
a
let
great
me tell
job.
you something. You know why these shows are great? Because I can do what I want.
Correct.
There's no rules. Radio is dying. It's kind of sad because that's where I kind of formed everything that I've done is with radio, but they're dying. Their business model doesn't work anymore. Their podcast, they don't post the commercials on their podcast where the advertisers can't be happier because their commercials live forever on the
Correct.
podcast. That's not the way it works in radio. And they're, you know, the value they get on a podcast is so much better than radio. Radio's overpriced, and you're paying because, we're the Eagle station. Well, that's great, and that's important for them. But the business model is just doesn't work anymore. Hey, George, I appreciate.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate
Keep up. I watch every week.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think we have another caller, don't we? We have another caller. By the way, let me also remind you that this show is presented by Stillwell Financial Investors. Very, very important. 732-343-0813. Do we have another caller there, Joe? Okay. I think I remember Matt from Mayfair. Matt.
Hello, Howard. How are you?
Matt, I couldn't be better. How are you?
I'm doing good. So Castellanos is a free agent after 26. Schwarber and Realmuto are free agents at the end of this season.
Okay. You're going to sign Schwarber, no question. I would not sign Realmuto. Maybe a 1-year contract, but he's not going to take a 1-year contract. I think he's kind of, catchers go through a lot, and he's just, defensively, he's still good, but I don't know that it makes that much difference anymore because the way they made it easier to steal bases, it's not the same. It's not the same anymore. So I would not sign Realmuto. They hope Marchand keeps on developing, and because he's young, you have him for a long time, and that's the guy, and he's got to stay healthy. But I think they're going to sign Schwarber, but I don't think they're going to sign Realmuto.
I agree with not re-signing JT, but the catcher situation is like clear as mud for the Phillies. Yeah, Marchand is not the answer. Even immediate. He's not even the short-term answer at catcher. They got rid of O'Hoppe for Brandon Marsh, which might be one of the worst trades. I'm gonna go there. Top 10 worst trades potentially in Phillies history is getting rid of Logan O'Hoppe for Brandon Marsh. You left a void.
Brandon Marsh is a 4th or 5th outfielder. I agree with that. But I think they have another catcher in the minor leagues.
Eduardo Tait. He's playing in Clearwater, but he's probably 4 years away.
Right. Well, probably maybe 2 years away, the way they move him up.
Yeah.
But Marchand's a good catcher. And you can if he can prove to be a starting catcher. I just can't sign Realmuto because he's going to want $25 million. I mean, I can't. But you got to sign Schwarber. I agree with that.
Listen, Howard, I haven't heard you, and I haven't listened tonight, so I apologize. But have you commented at all about the Pete Rose thing? I mean, what's your take?
No, I'm going to do it. I wanted to do the schedule first because the schedule came out, and we posted the schedule. People like to go wins and losses and what they're going to do in the tough part of the schedule. But I'm going to comment on Pete Rose, and there was a story written, and I don't read this guy ever, because I just don't think he's really that good. And again, he just assumed something about why Pete Rose was reinstated. And I talked people at Major League Baseball. I've talked to people at Major League Baseball, and I know what the situation is. Should they have reinstated him before he passed away? Yes, because you want to see the guy. It's for him and his family. So his family will be there, but now he can't get elected until 28 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a long time. Do you have did you see the Eagles schedule yet?
I did, Howard. I got 10-7.
10-7.
Howard, I think the defense is going to take a severe step backwards this year. And if they
I don't
can't
think it's going to be a severe step, but they can't be as good as
Howard,
last year.
if they can't be as good as they were last year, they're not winning a Super Bowl. The defense and Saquon were the number 1 and 2 reasons why, in my opinion, the team won. And I think they lost too much, and there's too many unknowns. Now, I said the same thing last year about the defense, and we all saw it kind of clicked in. I don't know, but Howard, those last 3 games, oh my God.
The last 3 games are tough. And then if you play at the Chargers, then home against the Raiders, and you go on the road twice, Buffalo is going to be a brutal game. That's going to be a brutal game. And the weather's going to be bad.
Yeah.
At the end of December, it's going to be bad.
Okay, don't overlook the Broncos at home either. The Broncos
are
getting better.
Give me your 7. Did you identify your 7 losses? Do you have it marked down there?
Yeah. So I got them losing in week 2 to Kansas City. I got them losing to Tampa in week 4.
2.
I'm gonna have a loss in week 7 to Minnesota. I got a split with the Giants.
So that's 3, right? That's 3.
Yeah, that's 3. Then I got a split with the Giants. So one of those games the Eagles are going to lose against the Giants.
4.
I got them losing in Green Bay is 5. I got them losing at home against Detroit. I got them beating Dallas. I got them beating the Bears. I got them beating the Chargers, the Raiders. I got them beating the Commanders, and then I got them losing Buffalo, and then losing the final game against the Commanders. So I'm sorry, 9-8. 9-8 is my record. 9-8.
9-8.
Yeah.
My gosh! Wow. I don't know that they'll be 9-8, but if they're 9-8, this town is going to go ballistic.
I 100% agree.
It's going to go ballistic. But stay tuned, because I do want to talk about Pete Rose, and I want to straighten out the situation. And there's other things that I want to talk. Bill Belichick, I got to talk about him again, and the whining, pathetic Sixers fans.
Yeah.
Pathetic. I'm going to get into them too.
Well, one last thing about the Eagles schedule, and I'll go the Kansas City game. The Phillies are also going to be in Kansas City that weekend, so that's pretty cool. Maybe a little trip out to KC and enjoy some Philly sports that weekend. So that might be
because it's
fun.
early in the year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the NFL scheduled that there, so that people can come all weekend.
Yeah.
And then the Kansas City game is a late game on Sunday.
So
it's not a late; it's a 4:25 game on Sunday. Okay. Hey, Matt, nice to have you on. Thanks for joining the show. Thank you. By the way, before we get to another call, let me thank again our presenting sponsor. And he's a partner, and he's a great guy. Stillwell Financial Investments. Jeff Stillwell is a brilliant guy when it comes to investing. He's a genius when it comes to investing your money. 732-343-0813. And I do want to mention, because I've mentioned, and we'll get back. I think we have some more calls. We'll get back to the callers. I do want to mention that Audi Westchester has a sale. How many times do you hear about sales on vehicles? $7,000 off any in-stock Q8s at Audi of Westchester. They have the largest selection in the area of Audis, because they're part of the Mainline Automotive Group. So you'll have the largest access to the largest selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Great facility, state of the art. People are really, really nice, and it's easy. There's no pressure. It's pressure-free sales environment. They're located 1421 Wilmington Pike, or check them out, AudiWestchester.com. That's AudiWestchester.com. And also, saving money. You want to save money? You can save it. Cut the cord with Jason. Save money on your cable bill, because Jason will save it for you. Get rid of that expensive cable. Get rid of it. You get internet service and streaming services, which include your local and national channels. Still get all of the Philadelphia Pro games. And let's just say you have a second home. Get that. That's all part of one bill. And Jason can set you up. One monthly bill. You'll save lots of money. 215-801-5858. That's 215-801-5858. And you want to get a pool. Yep, you want to get a pool. Well, who doesn't? Because it's a summertime. Piazza Property Pros. You know what? I talk to these people all the time, and I talk to Audi. I talk to everybody. I talk to them all. And it's important that you understand their business. Jason, Audi, and Piazza Property Pros, 25 years of experience. In-ground pool, you got it. You got to talk to them. Pool renovation, you got it. Landscaping, you got it. Fencing, you got it. Maintenance, you got it. Trust Piazza Property Pros, 25 years of experience. They don't subcontract. It's all very, very, very good. And just remember, it's summertime. Check them out, 610-566-2608, or check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. Oh, by the way, let me mention the Oakley. Last Saturday, we gave away a pair of Oakley sunglasses. Comment that Tony Bruno made. He was incorrect in his comment, but he made the comment. And our winner is, and Joe, if you can pull up our winner of the Oakley sunglasses, Kevin Salm. Kevin Salm, you won the Oakley sunglasses. Tony said he copyrighted or trademarked Stone Cold Lead Pipe Cinch, whatever. But you had it right. We had a lot of people that had the question right. You submit your response to our website, and when people have the correct answer, we take somebody at random. All right, Joe, do we have another caller? Okay. That's all right. Christopher. All right. Hey, Christopher, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, brother?
You tell me.
Well, I got the laptop hooked up, but I can't get into the show on that, so I had to get the old phone out. Well, not the old phone, but
that's all right. But you can remember with a podcast, you can watch it forever. So you can see yourself on TV when you watch it again. You'll watch it. Subscribe to YouTube. They're on all the social media platforms, but you subscribe to YouTube, and it'll be really easy to find.
I'm on your YouTube. I'm on everything. I actually got my own channel too, but
okay.
But yeah,
all right, what's up?
I got you on that. So so much going on with the schedule.
Yeah.
All the Cowboys fans are coming out. The cockroaches, like you like to call them, coming out from under their rocks, with their chest pumped up, thinking,
well, the Cowboys fans, they're cockroaches. You know why I named them? And I'm the one that came up with the name cockroach. You know why I named them cockroaches? Think about the life of a cockroach. The cockroaches, when it's not sunny, they go and they hide in the mud and they hide from you. When it's sunny, they come out. So they're cockroaches. They hide in the mud when things are bad. And then all of a sudden they'll win in 1 or 2 games. And here come the cockroaches out of the mud. Yeah, that's what they are. They're cockroaches.
Oh, yeah. If they gave a trophy for, doing okay during the regular season, they'd have 10 million trophies. Because once they get to the playoffs, if they're lucky, they never get there.
And you got to dust off their trophies. You got to dust them off.
1995, those VHS tapes, I'm sure they pop them in their little I'm sure every Cowboys fan has a VCR.
Well, did they have VHS tapes when the Cowboys actually won a Super Bowl? I don't even know. Right. Was that before VHS?
You know what? Hey, at the rate things are going with that football team, they might have to go out to the old what do you call it? The old video, the wind-up camera.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So what do you think? What do you think the record's going to be?
Well, I'm looking at the schedule. I got it in front of me. They're definitely going to beat the Cowboys.
The first game.
Yeah, opening night. Then they're at Kansas City. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of stuck because that's a revenge game.
That's a revenge game from the Super Bowl. That is correct.
Right. And they're going out there. Yep. So being a homer, I'm going to say it's a toss-up. The Birds could win that game.
Well, they can win every game, but they're not going to win every game.
Well, exactly. I really looking at the schedule. Let's do a mulligan on the Kansas City right now.
Maybe you can't do a mulligan. Give me a win or a loss.
All right, Eagles, they win.
All right, they're 2-0. All right, go. Okay. I don't think they're going to be 2-0, but that's all right.
All right, yeah. I mean, you're probably, I'm torn between that. But the first loss I see is in Tampa because they always have an issue with Tampa.
Yeah, that's a tough place to play in. And it seems like Todd Bowles always has Jalen Hurts' number.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. It just seems like, and, it's funny, you look back, and Hurts' first playoff game was in Tampa, and they lost. And then, of course, the year after the 2022 Super Bowl, they lost again to him. So I don't like when they go down there. But
all right, so give me the losses. Give me the losses.
Okay, so the losses are, let me see here. All right, so computer just shut off. Well, let me look at what you got on the screen there. My vision sucks.
Okay, the gray is the road games.
All right, so I got Okay, Buffalo, right? All right,
Yeah,
I got
that's
the
the next to
Rams.
last game of the season.
All
Yeah.
right, they're beating the Rams. They're
Yeah,
going to
that's
lose to
here.
Tampa. They're going to
Yeah,
lose to Tampa. They're going to beat Denver.
here.
Yeah, they're going to sweep the Giants because they stink.
Okay, they do stink, and they should sweep them. But
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll go 3-0 in that stretch because they play at Minnesota in the middle game there.
Well, that's I'm getting ready to get to that point. I think they'd lose to Minnesota up there.
I'm just curious. Minnesota has to play twice overseas, so 2
Yeah,
weeks
that's
in a row. So I don't know where that game falls for Minnesota, and that could have a bearing on the outcome of that game too.
And it's funny because they got the Giants on both ends of that Minnesota game.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's pretty funny. And that's another thing I noticed too. They don't have no back to back home games. I don't think
No,
they
they
do.
don't. No, they don't.
Yeah.
Boy, how did that happen?
Yeah. I'm looking at it and I'm like every other. Yeah, there's no back to backs. They got 2 in a row on the road, 2 in a row.
How does that happen? And they have 2 back-to-backs on the road.
Yeah, twice it looks like.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so give me a record.
All right, so I'm going to go. I said this the other day to somebody. They thought I was off my rocker. I have them with 3 or 4 losses.
So you think they could go 14-3 or 13-4?
Correct. They're going to.
That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean
they're going to win the division. That would get the home field throughout the playoffs. They're going to win the division. So I believe they're going to win the division.
I think the offense should be spectacular because they didn't lose anybody. The defense, I think they did. What do you think about the draft? I think they plugged some holes.
Yeah, well, the draft is good, but you don't know about young players. But I think the Eagles have a really good team. They're the best team in the division. There's no question about that. They're the best team. And they didn't have injuries last year, and that's a really important part.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too, and that's part of the game.
All right, Christopher, let me move on because there's some other things I want to do, but I really appreciate you joining the program.
Real quick before I roll, we're going to smash the Cowboys.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All right, take it easy, Howard.
All right, see you later.
All
right, well, that's easy, smashing the Cowboys. By the way, stay tuned. Later in the program, we're going to give away this gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's. When I have a question, you submit it to my website, whatever it is, the Howard Eskin Show. And by the way, subscribe on YouTube. That'll make it easier for you to catch everything. But it's on all the social media platforms. I'm going to give you the question. Submit it to my website, howardeskin.com, by midnight on Friday, the 16th. And this will be a random drawing. But submit it, you'll have a chance to win it. Whether I'm live on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And you win a gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's. All right, Joe, do we have any more callers? If not, there's some things I got to do. Do we have any more callers? Jim. All right, let's go to Jim. Jim, you're on. You're on the Howard Eskin Show. Is what you're on.
Howard, great to see you. I'll tell you, I just love the show. I've had the great pleasure of meeting you in person twice down at Borgata, and you couldn't have been nicer. And I was a winner of the sunglasses last week, and I wanted to say thank you there.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
The Eagles, they do have a tough schedule, but I really feel they're going to be like 12-5, 11-6, something like that. I do think the people that they drafted, even though they are young, will help their defense. And I think they're obviously going to be in contention this year to go back to the playoffs and make another run at it. I probably haven't felt this good about the Eagles in probably my entire lifetime. Really, they got a really good team, and I think they can make a run at it. May not
Here's
happen,
the thing.
but
They're a really good team. It's hard back to back. They were really fortunate. I'll say fortunate with injuries last year. And that's a real big. Detroit was a really good team. That would have been a hell of a game if they didn't get hurt. If Detroit didn't get hurt, that would have been a hell of a game between the Eagles and Detroit.
Yeah.
But the reality is, once they were out of it, the Eagles were on their way to the Super Bowl. And Kansas City, I don't think Kansas City was the best team in the AFC. I think Buffalo or Baltimore were better than Kansas City last year, but Kansas City had the home field. So that was a big part of it. But Jim, I do appreciate you joining the program. So what's the Eagles record going to be this year?
I'm going to go 12-5, 11-6.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of in the ballpark where I think so too. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, Jim.
Hey, thanks, Howard. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for being a watcher, listener, whatever it is. Thanks for being a part of the program. You know, it's just, it's kind of interesting when you look at the Eagles schedule. I'll tell you what, I'm a little surprised at. The Flyers name a new coach. The Flyers fans whine. Actually, I know it's, whining is safe for the Sixers fans. Complain that we don't talk enough hockey. Well, now we had a chance to talk it, and we only had one person ask about the Flyers. But all right, there's a few things that I want to do. We don't have anybody else on the line, right? Are we good? Okay, good. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. First of all, I want to show you a photograph. Bill Belichick in the year 2000. Joe, if you can throw up that photograph. Here he is with his girlfriend. Bill Belichick with his girlfriend in the year 2000. Isn't that special? Isn't that really special? Hey, listen, hey, love the one you're with and have a good time and all that. But there's something else I want to address. ESPN should be embarrassed. They promoted an interview with Bill Belichick. It was Tuesday afternoon because the coaches for their conference, the ACC, all get together. Every conference does it. They get together and they set up an interview with Belichick. And they had this woman. I had never seen her on ESPN before. What's her name? Christine Williamson. I'd never seen her before. She was so excited about talking to Bill Belichick. She did a horrible interview, and it was things we don't even care about. I don't care about the way he coaches. I don't care about all that stuff. We know the way he coaches. He's not the best coach ever in football because I can find probably 5 coaches that are better than him in the NFL, and Andy Reid's clearly better than he is. I can find 5 better, but that's an aside. She did an interview. What's the biggest topic when it comes to Belichick? His girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, Jordan Hudson. And the only reason we know her name is because she put herself out there so much. But she did a terrible interview. She only asked 2 questions about that. And the first question, I'm paraphrasing, what are your thoughts about, all this talk about Jordan Hudson? And he says, that's a personal matter. But I'm going to read from Bill Belichick's statement that he issued through North Carolina after the CBS Sunday morning interview, where she interrupted. She made herself look like an ass. She made him look like an ass because they both look like smacked asses. But here's his comment in his statement. And I'm reading this word for word. He said his response to her, it's personal. Well, his statement, Jordan, with whom I share a personal and professional relationship. He said this, personal and professional. So if she had any semblance of a good interview, well, Bill, in your statement, you said it was professional as well. What's the professional part of your situation with Jordan Hudson? Then she asked one more question. He didn't even answer it, and she ignored it. She said, what do your players think? And it was obvious right after that question, it was in response to him being with her. He started talking about football things. Oh, they come out to practice and they do this and nothing about that. And she just let it go. It was like a chuckle fest. She just laughed the whole time. It was a total chuckle fest. And it was embarrassing. ESPN should be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed. Doing an interview so pathetic. He's on with Michael Strahan on Friday morning, and I hope Michael's a little tougher. I know Michael, and he's a stand-up guy. You got to ask the right questions. You got to ask the right questions, and don't give him a pass. All right. Some other things that I do want to talk about at the Pete Rose situation. All right, there was Pete Rose is being reinstated to be eligible to be voted in the Hall of Fame. It is too late. You'd prefer it when he was alive, and I know he did some things that are wrong, but there's other players that did things that were wrong, and let it go. But whatever. There was a columnist, a writer in one of the Philadelphia papers that said, that gave Trump the reason. I'm not getting into politics. Trump the reason that baseball decided to allow Pete Rose to be reinstated, which is 100% false. False. I'm going to tell you because I check these things out and I know people everywhere and I talk to people in Major League Baseball. The commissioner Trump put this out that he should be reinstated to be eligible for the Hall of Fame 2 months ago. He put out a tweet. Rob Manfred, the baseball commissioner, did meet at the request of the president, did meet with Trump, and they talked about it. But I was assured it had zero to do with him being reinstated. They decided that it's time, and it's a feel-good moment for baseball, and baseball needs good publicity, and it was a feel-good moment for baseball, and that was important. It was really important to get that. It had nothing to do with Trump. All right, it had nothing to. So I don't respect or read that writer at all anyway. So I'm not even going to mention who it is because it's not important. All right, a couple other things I want to mention. I think it's wrong for the Phillies to have a day-night doubleheader because they need an extra gate. These baseball people make so much money. The game got rained out, and you have a day-night, 2 admissions. That's not fair to the fans. Not fair. Not fair to the workers. Not fair to the fans. All right, I got that out. The Sixers. Here's where I'm just going to go off. The lottery the other night, a lot of Sixers fans complained, and I put out a tweet the other day, complained that it was fixed that the Dallas Mavericks got the first pick because they traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers and they were promised to get the first pick. That's total bullshit. All right. Total. Stop whining, you pathetic individuals. Stop whining. Your team is ripping you off. You are pathetic. Let me just make something clear to you. Jim Jones didn't charge for, it's a sick situation, but it's long ago. I can talk about it. Jim Jones didn't charge for the Kool-Aid. The Sixers charge you for drinking the Kool-Aid. You're getting charged with exorbitant ticket prices, which aren't worth half of what you're paying. When a team's trying to lose, they tanked this year. So you think the Sixers should get the number 1 pick after tanking again and again and again and again this year? Wake up and don't tell me the Sixers are in good shape. Not with that fraud and con man that's making those decisions, Daryl Morey. Not a chance. Remember, they've had 2 number 1 picks that failed. They had a 3rd pick, which they have right now, which failed. That was Okafor. No guarantees. And Embiid, every day he changes whether he's going to be healthy, he's not going to be healthy, whatever it is. Joel Embiid will never be healthy the rest of his life, which is kind of a shame, but he got his $62.5 million a year. Paul George is now going to go back to doing podcasts because, heck, he's only going to play 50-some games in the season anyway. Well, I got plenty of time to do a podcast. That team is pathetic. They've got no chance. It's spelled, by the way, I'll make it easy for Sixers fans. It's 2 letters, N-O. No chance to win a championship. Stop your whining. If you want to go out and buy their tickets and support that team, go ahead. The owner only cares about the football team right now. What he cares about with the basketball team is making money. Don't support a team that is absolutely ripping you off. They are ripping you off. By the way, congratulations to Rick Tocchet. I think it's a good thing that Rick Tocchet is the coach of the Flyers. It's just with the choices out there. I mean, I think it's a good thing. And I think Rick Tocchet, they got to get some players, but they put the Sixers so far in the rearview mirror of of teams. You got the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, and the Sixers out of a 4-team race are 10th, in the city. All right. One other thing, it show you how out of touch players are. And I saw this the other night on TNT. Dwight Howard was filling in for Shaq with the TNT crew, which is great. And just listen to this, and I'll tell you how out of touch players have no concept of the history of the game. Go ahead with that.
Ernie, guess what he asked me in the back?
How much do you weigh?
No. See, hey, we got to tell. This dude asked me about Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I said,
About playing against Wilt?
I said, dude, how old do you think I am?
I did ask you.
I know you did. I'm like, dude, how old do you think I am?
After I asked the question, I thought about it. I said, Chuck ain't that old.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really trying to start some conversation because I'm like, man, this Chuck, man.
We were having a great conversation in the back there. I was like, I said, because it caught me off guard. I said, how old does this dude think I am?
Is that why you put the headphones
I said, yeah, man, we're done talking for tonight.
Man.
Oh my gosh. And Dwight Howard's not alone. Players, and it's not just, it really is not just basketball. It's a lot of players that don't have a sense of their history, of the history of the game. It's kind of sad. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, you got to know what era he played. It's Barkley that. But anyway, I had to play that. All right. I got a question for you. And this really has no answer until the end of the season. But if you submit, you have a chance to win a gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's, wherever you may be. There's probably a Chickies and Pete's. I'll give you the question. By the way, subscribe to YouTube, and you always know when the show comes up. And I'm on all those other social media platforms as well. I'm going to give you the question now. It's about the Eagles schedule. Email your answer through the contact page at howardeskin.com by midnight on Friday, this Friday, the 16th of May. And on Saturday, I will announce the winner. And it's not probably, it's going to be a random drawing, because here's the question. It's a little thought. It's just a way to submit to get you part of the program. Give me your prediction for the Eagles record this season. And what do you think the toughest game on the schedule will be? You got to include both those. Your prediction, there's no right or wrong answer, but it'll be random. So everybody has a chance. Submit it to howardeskin.com, the contact page. The prediction, the Eagles record for this season, and what do you think the toughest game on the schedule will be? And the person that is selected will win a gift certificate to Chickies and Pete's. All right. Hey, good luck to Bill Belichick and his daycare center. Good luck to Sixers fans. I'll get you some tissues so you can whine. And you know what? I'll get the Sixers fans. I'll get you some cheese to go along with that wine. I'll get some good cheese and go along with that wine. Oh, the Dallas Mavericks, it was fixed. Your team tanked. Your team tries to lose for how many years now? Stop. Please. All right. Thanks again to our presenting sponsor. He's a partner, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell, and his number 732-343-0843, and all our sponsors of the Howard Eskin Show. Cut the Cord with Jason, Piazza Property Pros, and Audi of Westchester. All got great things going on, and Audi has $7,000 off. The Q8's in stock right now and no tariffs. And if you want your car shipped anywhere in the country, they can do that for you too. Thanks for all the participants on the show, talking about the schedule, talking about a few different things, and we'll do that again. And you're welcome to participate in any show because I'll always put out the link. But this show, I wanted to make it particularly for you, the caller, the listener, the pod caller, whatever you want to call yourself. And thanks for joining the Howard Eskin Show. We'll see you again on Saturday. And by the way, on Saturday, I'm going to try something. Hopefully it works with the reception. The Eagles Autism Challenge is this Saturday. And I will be there. And, ever since I had the accident on the bike, I don't ride the bike anymore. But what I will do, it's funny, I was on the air when it happened. I don't want to even go over that. It's still, I've recovered from it. I was lucky. But I'll do the walk. I'll be out there on Saturday and say hello to everybody. And I'm going to post my link sometimes tonight. And if anybody wants to make a donation to the Eagles Autism Foundation. You can do it through my link, but I'll see you on Saturday. See you on Saturday from the link and walking around down there for the Eagles Autism Challenge. Everybody have a good night, good morning, whenever you're watching this. Enjoy it. And thanks for joining the Howard Eskin Show.